This week we go from the VMAs to the 8.0s to 2012, and maybe we get to see a little bit of pine green. I am your host, Jacques Slade, and this is the weekly sneaker review.
My kick's on fire.
The hype started back with Kobe's Black Mamba film. However, this weekend, the hype machine kicked back into full gear as Kanye West rocks what many believe to be the Nike Air Yeezy 2 at the MTV Video Music Awards. Now, the model is based off the Nike Tech Challenger and features a gray or Zen gray upper with a solar red liner, and then there's glow-in-the-dark accents on the outsole. Now, of course, there is no release or pricing information available right now, but you should definitely stay close and we will let you know as soon as we find out more information. That is the Nike Air Yeezy 2 by Nike and Kanye West. The pine green Nike Air Foamposite Pro first showed its pretty face over a year ago, and now we are finally a few days away from the actual release. The shoe has received lots of hype because people really love the pine green Foamposite upper and how it mixes with the black fabric and the black Nike swoosh on the side panel. There's also a translucent outsole, and of course, you know, they have the carbon fiber right on the arch of the foot. Now, pricing is said to be at $190, and they're released on September 2nd. From what I understand, this is a nationwide release, so you shouldn't have too hard of a time finding them. But if you are a little nervous, there are a few places doing some midnight releases, so make sure you check with your local sneaker boutique or your local sneaker shop, because I do understand that there are some midnight releases. That is the Nike Air Foamposite Pro Pine Green releasing on September 2nd. Jordan Brand has been doing a lot with their .0 series, and the latest entry into the foray is the Air Jordan 8.0. Like the Air Jordan 2.0, the model has been given some performance enhancements. As you can see, the normally leather upper has been integrated with Flywire, which is all white over the white leather. Now, there's also gray and aqua accents, which gives the shoe its quote-unquote pop. Unfortunately, we don't have any pricing information, but we do know that the shoe will be releasing in October. So that's the Air Jordan 8.0 Aqua. Let me know what you guys think about the 8.0 series in the comments. Let's move on to number 2. It pays to be an associate product line manager at Jordan Brand, and I say that because for this week's, or rather last week's, Air Jordan Friday hashtag on Twitter, Doug Barclay treated us to a sample, or let's call them an employee PE version of the Air Jordan 10. The model features a gray/green colorway and was probably the hottest Air Jordan tweeted this weekend. But let's think about this. Doug Barclay is no one-trick pony, so I decided, let me see what else this guy has tweeted. And he's tweeted these, and these, and these, and these. I guess it does pay to be an associate product line manager at Jordan Brand. Shout out to Doug Barclay. You know, keep showing us the heat. We definitely appreciate it. You have definitely made a fan out of me. Let's move on to number 1. The Air Jordan 3 and the Air Jordan 5 received top billing this year, though we believe that the baton will be passed to the Air Jordan 4 next year. As you can see here in this image, this is a sample of the Air Jordan 4 in white and cement gray. The model features a super simple silhouette with a majority of the upper being white and then cement gray and black used as the accents. Of course, right now we don't have any release dates and or pricing information. However, if we can base it on the Air Jordan 3 that they did this year, we should expect it to drop maybe in January and or February and be priced right around $150. So that's our number 1 pick for the weekly sneaker review, the Air Jordan 4 in white and cement. Let's move on to my personal picks. Welcome to the personal picks. This is where I give you 3 sneakers that I thought could have made it into the top 5, but unfortunately they didn't this week. So with that said, let's get right to it. The first one is the Jordan 6 Rings Carbon Fiber. I'm a fan of the 6 ring styling, and the carbon fiber definitely takes it over the top. I've pretty much been in love with carbon fiber ever since I saw them on the low top Air Jordan 11s at All-Star Weekend. So that's that, the Air Jordan 6 Rings Carbon Fiber. Next up is the Nike Air Max Griffey Fury Freshwater. Now, while I'm not exactly a fan of the Freshwater and the Nike Air Max Fury together, I am a fan of the Freshwater colorway. So that's why I picked this shoe. I definitely like the Freshwater colorway, and it looks interesting on this shoe, though I'm not sure if I like it yet. And finally, this one, which I'm sure I'm going to receive a lot of hate comments and Twitter's about. It's the Li-Ning 937 Pro. I know, yes, I said Li-Ning. I like the shoe. I don't know if it's the old school kind of style of the shoe because I'm a ball player and I like basketball sneakers, or maybe it's just that I like the colorway. I'm always a sucker for black, red, and white colorways. So either way it goes, it's the Li-Ning 937 Pro in white, black, and red. So y'all take that and you can't say nothing because I like the shoe and it's my personal opinion. Just like you like what you like. I don't know where that came from. Anyway, let's move on to the question of the video because this gets really, really interesting. Last week for the question of the video, I asked you guys what would be the first thing you would do if you worked for Jordan Brand. And I expected a lot of responses and I got a lot of responses from you guys, and just to let you guys know, I definitely understand that quality is an issue. I would say over 80% of the responses that I got on Twitter, on Facebook, on the website, and on YouTube definitely said that you guys were concerned about the quality. So that was a big issue, so definitely know that I heard those. But I also picked out four responses from you guys, 2 from the website and 2 from YouTube, and I'm going to go ahead and give those to you guys. The first one comes from Carlos 2010, and Carlos said, I would space the sneaker releases because I myself can't afford to buy a pair every time one comes out, and it sucks because I would like to cop about every pair. Carlos, believe me, I know a lot of people feel you. It does seem like Jordan Brand is releasing sneakers pretty consistently, and if you don't have a job or if your parents aren't balling, it's going to be pretty difficult for you to get a pair every time. So I definitely understand that. The next one is from PAJ AK47. So Paj AK47. Paj says, I was going to say he or she, Paj says, I would only release 1 retro per quarter of the year. This would make a shoe much more personal in that not everyone would be rocking the same shoes. The availability of popular retro models is amazing, and if I were Jordan Brand, I would make sure the Space Jam 11s and other iconic sneakers do not see a release for at least a decade, if not more. Now Paj, or PAJ, I hope I'm saying that right, that is definitely a very good point. A lot of people feel like there's too much retro product coming into the market. So you would rather have that stuff spaced out so that it's not all hitting at the same time or within the same year. So that's a good point. And the next one, this one is actually from YouTube, and this is from Melon Khan LP. I would immediately get on making sure that there wouldn't be any early releases and that nobody would see the sneaker till release. Makes the moment all that more special. Unfortunately, the brands generally don't have the means to control these leaks. It's like with the record industry and how once the music goes to the distribution company that prints up the CDs, you often find out that the music leaks online somewhere because an employee grabbed a copy and leaked it online. So, you know, it's kind of not really their fault. They definitely try to keep a handle and a wrap on them as much as they can because it doesn't benefit them for them to have the shoe leak out early. So just something to consider. And finally, this one is Swagger Like Butter. That's the song. I got swagger like butter. Swag, or maybe not. Okay, Swagger Like Butter says, the first thing I would change is getting rid of all the Team Jordans and non-Air Jordans, which is a waste of money because no one buys those. And use the leftover profit to put better quality into the leather and nubuck and just the all-around sneakers. So Swagger Like Butter feels like the Team Jordan sneakers and all the sneakers outside of the retro line are taking away from the quality of the Air Jordan retro line, which is definitely a valued opinion. So, but overall, I would definitely say I understand. So quality is an issue. But I can tell you guys this, I can't tell you exactly what's happening, but I can tell you that Jordan Brand is listening. Just know that they read your comments, someone there read your comments for YouTube. So know that Jordan Brand is listening and they do care about your concerns, and they're doing what they have to make the shoes the best they can. So we'll leave it at that. And now for this week's question, I want to pose the same question to you guys. I want to know what you would do if you worked for Jordan Brand. But I felt like this week, a lot of you guys answered the questions as a sneakerhead. This week, I want you to answer the question as a corporate person or a business. Now, you're in the business of making sneakers. and you start working for Jordan Brand. Now, what is the first thing that you're going to do? Does that change? Does that change your response from this week? Because you feel the same way regardless whether you're in the business of selling sneakers or you're buying sneakers. So think about it that way. The question is, what would you do if you worked from Jordan Brand? But I want it from the perspective of a businessman. Well, that is the end of the weekly sneaker review, episode 31. We're moving, you guys. We're almost a year old now. If you want to see episode 30, you can see it there. Bam. As always, make sure you subscribe. There's a button up top that lets you subscribe. If Twitter and Facebook is your thing, that information is down in the description. Make sure you hit us up on Twitter and on Facebook. I am your host, Jacques Slade. This is the weekly sneaker review, and I will see you next week. Peace. Happy and Juan the Blogger on their respective heels. Again, that's the Nike Air Foamposite 1 Camo by Juan the Blogger. Let's move on to my